As the sun rises, the world awakens to a sky devoid of stars. The eclipse of the stars, which began as a celestial spectacle, has now cast its chilling influence upon the land. In the aftermath of the battle at the ancient temple, Ren and Selene stand before the weathered entrance, their silhouettes stark against the eerie glow that emanates from within. The air is heavy with tension, charged with the lingering energy of the conflict they've just endured. Ren's grip is tight on his sword, the weapon glowing faintly, a spectral echo of the celestial energies that surged through it during the confrontation with the Eclipse bringer. His eyes, usually so vibrant, are shadowed with worry, reflecting the daunting task that lies ahead of them. Beside him, Selene stands tall, her gaze fixed on the temple entrance. Her expression is resolute, yet the faint tremor in her hands betrays the turmoil within. The robe she wears, once pristine white, is now marred with the grime of battle, a testament to the ferocity of the fight they've just endured. The relic, the very essence of the battle, rests in her hands, pulsing with a soft, ethereal light. Its gentle hum is a constant reminder of the immense power it holds and the perilous responsibility she carries. "The stars may have guided us," Ren begins, his voice low and thoughtful. "But the path ahead is shrouded in darkness. And with every step we take, the veil between us and the coming storm grows thinner." He turns to Selene, his gaze intense, mirroring the turmoil in her own heart. "We must hurry, Selene. The eclipse is waning, and the window to avert the catastrophe is shrinking by the moment." Inside the temple, the remnants of the shattered statues of the moon and the sun lay scattered across the ground, silent witnesses to the epic battle that raged within these hallowed halls. Dust motes danced in the shafts of sunlight piercing through the crumbling roof, illuminating the ancient crystal orb that rested on a broken pedestal. It was here, deep within the heart of the temple, that the fate of the world hung in the balance. Selene and Ren moved forward, their steps echoing in the cavernous space. As Selene approached the relic, it reacted to her presence, its glow intensifying. She reached out, her fingers hovering above the surface, and a jolt of energy surged through her, sending a shiver down her spine. "This is it," she whispered, her voice filled with awe and trepidation. "The key to stopping the catastrophe." But as she gazed upon the relic, its beauty, she saw something more, something that both fascinated and frightened her. "It's more than I imagined," she murmured, her eyes wide with wonder and dawning realization. Ren stood beside her, his gaze fixed on the relic. He too felt the surge of energy, but he was more concerned with Selene. The intensity in her eyes, the tremor in her hands betrayed the turmoil within her. "But it's dangerous, Selene," he said, his voice laced with concern. "If the prophecy is true, shouldn't it be destroyed?" Selene turned to him, her expression resolute. "No, Ren," she said, her voice firm. "The relic must be used to unite the kingdoms, not to tear them apart. It's the only way to stop the coming darkness." As if in response to her words, the relic pulsed, and a blinding light erupted from it, bathing the temple in an ethereal glow. For a moment, everything was light and warmth, and then darkness. When Selene opened her eyes, she found herself staring into a swirling abyss. A dark, shadowy force writhed within it, reaching out as if trying to break free from its confines. Fear tightened her throat. This was not the power of the stars. This was something ancient, something malevolent. With a surge of dark energy, the creature lunged towards her, but before it could reach her, a blinding flash of light erupted from the relic, knocking them both back. Startled, Selene stumbled but quickly regained her balance. But as she looked up, her breath caught in her throat. The light from the relic had opened a rift in the air, revealing a realm of shadows. And from this realm, creatures of darkness were pouring forth. They were horrifying, shapeless masses of darkness with glowing red eyes that seemed to burn with a malevolent light. Their emergence tore at the very fabric of the temple, causing cracks to spiderweb across the ancient walls. As the creatures advanced, Celine and Ren exchanged a look, their faces grim. "We have to close the rift," Celine said urgently, drawing strength from the relic. But as she focused her power, a surge of energy knocked her back. She gasped, clutching her chest as the relic pulsed erratically. I can't control it," she stammered, struggling to her feet. The creatures loomed closer, their dark forms twisting and writhing. Ren rushed to Celine's side, his eyes filled with concern. "Celine, are you all right?" he asked, his voice tight with worry. I don't know," she replied, her voice weak. "The relic. It's too powerful for me alone." With the creatures closing in, their dark presence suffocating the very air around them, Celine knew that she couldn't bear the burden alone. Hope flickered as a figure emerged from the shadows. Stepping forward, a woman with flowing silver hair and eyes that shone like stars. "The relic's power is unstable," the woman said, her voice echoing with authority. "You cannot wield it alone, Celine. You need the power of all the kingdoms united." Recognition dawned on Celine's face. "Lyria," she whispered, a mix of surprise and relief washing over her. As Lyria joined their ranks, she explained, "The prophecy speaks of 3 bloodlines uniting to control the relic, and we are those bloodlines." Though gratitude swelled within her, Celine couldn't help but feel a pang of uncertainty. Trusting Lyria, a sorceress from a rival kingdom, went against everything she had been taught. Yet the prophecy held true. Only together could they hope to avert the catastrophe. With newfound determination, Celine nodded, ready to embrace her destiny. Later that night, as the camp crackled with the warmth of a small fire, Ren sat in deep thought, his gaze flickering between the dancing flames and the distant stars. The events of the day weighed heavily on his mind. The shocking revelation about the relic and the looming threat of the creatures from the Shadow Realm. Despite the danger that lurked at every corner, there was another concern that gnawed at his thoughts, a worry that had been growing since their arrival at the temple. He glanced at Selena, who sat a short distance away, her profile illuminated by the firelight. Her presence was a beacon in the gathering darkness, yet it was this very presence that caused a turmoil in his heart. He cared for her deeply, and in the crucible of their shared journey, his feelings had only intensified. But duty, honor, and the solemn oath he had sworn to his kingdom warred with his affections. "Are you sure we can trust her?" Ren asked softly, breaking the silence. Lyria, who sat opposite them, looked up, her gaze steady and unwavering. "She speaks the truth," Lyria affirmed, her voice echoing with the confidence of one who walked the path of starlight. "The prophecy says the 3 of us are fated to unite the world, and we can't do it without each other." Ren hesitated, torn between his trust in Lyria and his lingering doubts about Celine's intentions. As the eclipse continued its slow, inexorable march across the sky, casting an ever-present gloom over the land, Celine and Ren found themselves racing against time. The stakes were higher than ever. The unity of the kingdoms, the very fate of the world, hung precariously in the balance. Every step they took, every decision they made, echoed with the weight of their destinies. For Celine, the burden was immense. She carried not just the hopes of her people, but the power of an ancient relic that threatened to consume her. For Ren, the path was fraught with personal battles, his duty to his kingdom and his growing feelings for Celine pulling him in opposite directions. As the darkness deepened, both Celine and Ren knew that the road ahead would be fraught with peril. Yet they pressed on, driven by a shared sense of purpose and the faint glimmer of hope that they would emerge from this crisis together.